MMA Boxing Talk here, coming at you with another video. I just want to put out a video on UFC 200, and I want to put out my wish list for the fights I want to see at UFC 200, which is taking place July 9th at the T-Mobile Center in Las Vegas, which is the new MGM Grand Arena, apparently. So UFC 200 is going to be at T-Mobile Arena. Now, it'll be interesting to see if, because I know Floyd Mayweather mentioned that he wants to be the first one to fight at the new MGM Grand Arena, which is called T-Mobile Center. So, Floyd Mayweather, if he wants to be the first one, he's going to have to do it before July 9th. I just want to throw that out there. But anyway, UFC 200, they're really hyping this thing to be huge. You got to remember, UFC 100 was the biggest pay-per-view the sport has ever seen. Now they're saying that UFC 196 that just passed is actually going to pass UFC 100 for pay-per-view buys. So UFC 200 or UFC 100 is now the second biggest pay-per-view in UFC history. But UFC 200, it is going to be huge. They're marketing the whole thing very, very well. There's a UFC Unstoppable campaign, which starts, it's from now till it's basically the lead up to UFC 200, and there's so many good fights, so many good pay-per-view cards before July 9th. Now, obviously they're going to want some big names on UFC 200. I know that for a fact. So this is my wish list. Right off the bat, I want to see Conor McGregor defend his 145-pound title against Frankie the Answer Edgar. That's the fight the fans want to see. That's the fight that people, Frankie Edgar's the man that people think can beat McGregor at 145. That's his so-called kryptonite. That's McGregor's kryptonite. That's what the consensus is. Anyway, Frankie Edgar. So I think that fight will get made. Dana's put out a statement the other day saying that that's what the fans really want to see. I know I've been pushing for through social media and through this channel. So that's the one I want to see. Frankie Edgar take on Conor McGregor. I want to see the return of GSP, and I want him to reclaim his 170-pound title. If Lawler wins, hey, hats off to Lawler, because but I don't think he'll be able to beat GSP. That's just my personal opinion. But I'd like to see GSP come back, fight Robbie Lawler for the title. There's rumors that GSP might fight Nate Diaz because GSP's trainer has mentioned it, that it would be a good fight. I don't really want to see that fight. I'll watch it, and there's no doubt. GSP Nate Diaz, but GSP is the best welterweight of all time. He has to come back and fight for a title. And another reason why that fight is so interesting, because GSP wiped out that division, but the only guy he didn't beat is Robbie Lawler, who's the champ at the moment. So, if GSP could come back at UFC 200, fight Robbie Lawler, that would just be insane, win or lose. So I want to see Conor McGregor take on Frankie Edgar, GSP, George St. Pierre, take on champion Robbie Lawler. And remember, this is a wish list, right? So it's not what I think will happen; it's what I want to happen for UFC 200. And the other big fight I want to see is Ronda Rousey rematch Holly Holm, because before Holly Holm fought Miesha Tate, she lost. Before that fight, the word was, the winner would face Ronda Rousey in November. But now that Miesha Tate won, Ronda has 2 wins over Miesha Tate. Personally, I would rather see, I don't really want to see Ronda Rousey versus Miesha Tate 3. I would watch it, but I'd much prefer to see Ronda Rousey Holly Holm rematch. That's the fight people want to see, because you got to remember, Ronda Rousey is the cash cow in that division. Holly Holm, Miesha Tate. Holly Holm's a former champion. Miesha Tate's the current champion. They both have, a bit of notoriety, but nothing nothing like Ronda. They can't bring in the numbers like Ronda can bring in the numbers. Um, and you know, truly believe that the big money fight is Holm versus Rousey 2. And you know, another thing too, the Ronda haters, the Ronda detractors, if she beats Holly Holm, or sorry, if Ronda beats Misha Tate in the in the third fight, and beats her and reclaims the title, you know what they're gonna say about Ronda? They're gonna say, well, yeah, she's the champ, but she's not the real champ. You know, she beat a girl that she had beat already in the past. So you know, it's not proving anything, you know, kind of thing. That's what the detractors will say. And then they'll still want to see that Holm Rousey rematch, which would be, I think, a lot bigger if Ronda's the champ, as the underdog kind of thing. But anyway, I want to see Ronda Rousey take on Holly Holm in a rematch before anyone fights Misha Tate. You know, maybe Misha Tate will fight Amanda Nunes or you know, one of the top girls outside the big three, you know, to stay sharp. We'll see. But that's my wish list for UFC 200. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you like the fights on, you know, my UFC 200 wish list. If you know, want other possible fights, tell me what you want to see and what you think of my wish list. So it's Conor McGregor taking on Frankie Edgar, George St. Pierre taking on Robbie Lawler, and Ronda Rousey taking on Holly Holm in the rematch. That's what I want. I don't know if it'll happen. I think McGregor Edgar, I think that's going to happen. But we'll see with the other fights. But I will guarantee you one thing. UFC 200 will be a big deal. There's going to be a lot of well-known fighters on that card. It's going to be a big, you know, social media. Casual fans are going to know about this. They'll be tuning in, just like at 196. But anyway, that's it for this one. Let me know what you think. If you like the video, subscribe. MMA Boxing Talk. Peace.